Hello.
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 How are you?
Hi.
Fine. And you?
Hi. Hi.
Hi. I'm fine. It's nice to see you again after 3 weeks.
Okay. Thank you.
And we have to wait a little because there are some more people joining us. Yes.
Okay.
I should tell you that I'm recording the class so that then I can upload it in the platform, okay? Some people told me, for example, there's someone who's not feeling well. She's waiting to have a COVID test. And some other people with some other difficulties. So for them not to miss any explanations, the class will be recorded, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So while we wait for a few more people to join us, tell me, how are you coping with the work? Now that, well, in this second part of the year, we are working a little more intensively than at the
Yeah,
beginning.
I
Yes.
realize that.
A lot of homework.
And how are you feeling? Are you doing okay? Is it too much?
Yes. No.
It's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes.
Everything's okay.
Personally, I'm doing okay, and I think I'm getting better day by day.
That's the idea. The idea is that if you practice every day, yes, it shows. It's not the same like to devote 1 hour twice a week than to devote some time every day. Of course, it makes a difference.
Yes.
What about the others? Maka?
Yes, I am doing well. I have been checking my answer with the answers that you upload in the platform, and recently I have been completing one unit about conditionals.
Great, yes. Yes, I see that there are only like 10 people who have done all the work requested up to now. This is also why I'm asking, because I see that there are several people who are falling behind. But the truth is that, as I explained in the meeting we had 3 weeks ago, is that in the first part of the year, we went slower, waiting for everybody to adapt to this new way of working. And now we have to, well, to work at a better pace. Yes, let's hope that everybody can keep up. And the idea is that the ones who are like really willing to work harder can do so and can have their doubts answered, etc. Okay. I don't know if you looked at today's class. Today, I mean, well, or in the work you will have to do during this week, there is a new type of exercise that is a cloze test. Yes. So what we are going to do now in the Zoom meeting is we are going to check the doubts that I received in the activities on indirect speech, passive voice, conditionals, wishes, and related forms. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about this new exercise, the cloze test, that in the same way as the paraphrase, they are like integrative exercises because they are not about conditionals or about verbal tenses or about the article. They're about everything together, okay? So it's normal that these exercises are harder, especially at the beginning. The more you practice, the easier they become, okay? You know that at the end of the year, we will have an exam, yes, in which you will have reading comprehension, you will have paraphrase, you will have this type of exercise, a cloze test. This is why we start practicing now with a lot of time in advance for you to practice, yes, and you're going to have writing too. So as for, not this week, because this week I added the cloze test, which is quite a challenge, but next week I'm going to ask for another piece of writing, okay? The idea, as you know, of this course is for you to be as well prepared as you can be to start attending first year next year, okay? And what we do with this exam that you have at the end of the year, and for people who don't do very well, they have the same possibility in March next year, so they have some more months during the summer. The idea with this exam is not to tell you, no, you can't enter. It is to tell you whether you have the level that you need in order to attend the subjects, because in first year you have 2 subjects that are in Spanish, right? But most of the subjects are very specific and they are in English. So if your level is not high enough for that, it's a problem above all for you, because there are people who say, no, I prefer to start first year anyway, but you're wasting your time because it's frustrating. You're trying to do something that you're still not ready to do. And it's better to go in an organized way, 1 step at a time, you know? So we will talk more about this towards the end of the year, but you should know that that's the purpose of this exam that you have. So as Gustavo said, that he has this feeling that he's getting a little better every day, that's the purpose of this course. And this is why now I'm giving you more work and more homework to do, because the idea is that you should devote a couple of hours every day. Okay?
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Yes. I'm going to recommend another short story next week as well, because you know that apart from all the focused work, the more you do intensive reading and intensive listening, so watching programs that you like in English, that helps a lot too. Yes, all the input that you can have access to, yes, is something that you should try to take advantage of, right? Fantastic. Okay, so let's start with the doubts. I want to explain something, because in the first part of the year we worked with the forums, and that was useful at the time, and there were some people who got really good at explaining why one option was right and another option was not, and it helps you to analyze this. We are going to continue with doing that, but with the writing, once we have a writing piece, which you will do next week, with mistakes from there. But for the units, I prefer to use these meetings to give you a more immediate answer, okay? The thing is the following: when I receive the activities, there are people who send me no doubts, and there are others who send me many doubts. Depending on which the doubts are, I answer in my response there, I give an explanation, or I leave some doubts to discuss here. When it's a very specific question that I think that nobody else has, I answer to the person in my corrections. But when it's a doubt that it's interesting for the majority, I prefer to correct here, okay? So that everybody can benefit from the explanation. So,
Okay.
as regards English speech, there were very few doubts. Most of them I answered personally, but there is one that I wanted to discuss because it's related to something we mentioned 3 weeks ago. In the unit about indirect speech, I would like to, this was exercise 9, sentence G. You don't need to look at it in this moment, yes? Then I'm going to share the screen for the next exercise, but for this one, you don't need to see the sentence. The thing is, I want to know what the difference in meaning would be between the following options. Larry denied being arrested. Larry denied being arrested, as opposed to Larry denied having been arrested. Remember, we mentioned something about this a few weeks ago. Grammatically speaking, they are both correct, but the meaning is different. The sequence of events. Think about that. Think about the time when the actions are happening. Larry denied being arrested. When you use this form, the ing form, yes, being arrested, that action is parallel in time to the main action. So he denied that he was arrested in that moment. Like he was not in prison, okay? He was not arrested. Now, if what you want to say refers to a past action, in that case, you would say that Larry denied having been arrested, like he had not been arrested before the moment in which he spoke, okay? So grammatically, both options are correct, but they have different meanings.
Okay.
Yes. For the people who have their cameras on, it's great because I see that you are nodding, so I imagine that you understand. There are a few people whose cameras are off. If they are working, I prefer you to turn your cameras on. If they are not working, don't worry. Just put something in the chat or interrupt if you need to say something, okay? but this is the best opportunity to ask if there's something that's not clear. Okay? I'm not supposed to do all the talking. You can ask, you can interrupt, you can ask me to explain again if it's not clear. Okay? Let's imagine that we are in the classroom. Okay?
Okay.
So, in the exercise of passive voice, and give me a second because now I'm going to share the screen, several people had doubts with exercises 6 and 7. So give me a second. Here, can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 So just a second there. So exercises 6 and 7, yes, you may have them in the book or otherwise you can look here at the screen. They both played with the same structure, that is to have or to get something done. This structure is a little uncomfortable maybe for us because it's not something that we have in Spanish. Because in Spanish, for example, I can say, me corté el pelo, when really I mean that I went to the hairdressers and the hairdresser cut it. I did not cut it myself. But in Spanish, we don't make that distinction. So people in English tend to say, I cut my hair. But I cut my hair in English means that I took the scissors and I cut my hair. When you want to say that you paid someone to do it, yes, you say, I had my hair cut. And instead of using have, you can use the verb get. I got my hair cut.
Okay.
Okay? This is, in English, a very common construction. So if this is unusual for you, highlight it, make a few signs, okay, until it begins sounding and looking more familiar, okay? You're going to see this in the paraphrase quite a lot. It is one of the structures that is tested precisely because one knows that it is usually a little challenging for students, okay? So let's do this exercise together. This one was from Unit 9 on passive voice in the book, okay? Exercise 6 said, rewrite each sentence so that it contains a form of have something done. Do not include the agent. If I said, for example, that the hairdresser, yes, well, we'll go to that example, but let's look at example A. A painter painted our house last month. You would say, we had our house painted last month. We don't have to mention the painter. We don't have to mention the person who did it. Okay?
Okay.
So remember, it's to have, or if you want to get something done. And you do not mention the agent. Because it's obvious, if you say we had our house painted last month, yes, which in English is a lot more common than saying a painter painted, because a painter, of course it's a painter. Who's going to do that job? Okay? So in English, the subject is like a very important position in the sentence, and you're not going to use it for something that doesn't give you any information. And a painter, yes, look at this, you have an indefinite article, a painter, any painter, so it's not important. So you don't want to use the position of subject for that information which is not so important, okay?
Okay.
We is a more important subject because we are the ones who paid someone, we got something done, okay? We benefited from all this process, right?
Right.
So, sentence B, the hairdresser is cutting, pay attention to the verbal tense, okay?
Yes.
The hairdresser is cutting my hair this afternoon. How could we say this? If you want to volunteer an answer, just raise your hand, because as I'm sharing screen, I see some of you, not all of you. So tell me, can I? Yes, or something.
Can I?
Okay, Gustavo.
I think it could be, I'm getting my hair cut this afternoon.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I am
Thank you.
getting or I am having, both options are correct. I am getting or I am having my hair cut this afternoon. Yes, Ariel?
For example, in my original answer was, I have my haircut this afternoon. After that, I realized the original verb tenses.
Exactly, exactly. Remember that when you do this exercise of rewriting, you have to respect the original sentence, the verbal tense. For example, you cannot change that, because if you change
It's
that, you're
cutting.
changing the meaning. Okay? So
Okay.
you change the format because in passive voice we are practicing this concept of giving the position of subject to a more important piece of information, but the verbal tense has to remain the same. Okay?
Okay.
So, sentence C, someone has stolen my motorbike. Tobias.
Could be my motorbike has been stolen.
That sentence is perfect, but you're not following the instructions of the exercise in particular. The sentence is perfect, but you're not using this have something done or get something done, okay?
Yes.
Ariel?
I have had my motorbike stolen.
Yes, yes, present perfect. I have had my motorbike stolen. In this case, it's not that we are paying someone to do it or that we are asking someone to do it, but still we are placing ourselves in the position of subject because we, are the most important victims, yes, of the action. So that's why we take the position of subject and we say I, okay? So Tobias, if this was a paraphrase exercise, then your sentence would be perfect. Here, you were asked to use the construction to have something done.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Remember that, sorry I insist, but I don't see everybody in my screen because I'm sharing. So if some of the people I'm not seeing right now have a question, talk, okay? Please. Sentence D, the dentist, yes?
Yes. I am a little bit confused with the exercise C. I don't understand how to make the sentence with the tense. In this case, it's present perfect.
Yes.
And I am confused with this tense. Perfect.
In the
Could I
construction.
answer?
Okay, Ariel, yes.
Because the original sentence says has stolen. It is in present perfect.
Yes, but I think that what Rocio is asking is how you put the construction in the present perfect, right? When you say have something done, it's the verb have that you have to put in any verbal tense. I'm having, will have, has had. You put the verb have in the verbal tense of the original sentence. And then you have the action and the past participle. Okay? So what is going to change is the verb have.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Would you like to say letter D?
Yes, I put Ricky has had all teeth taken out.
Sorry, there was a little interruption. Say it again.
Ricky has had all his teeth taken out.
Yes, that's correct. Sad, but correct. What a weird sentence, right? Yes, Rocio, excellent. Very good.
Can you repeat the answer, please?
Yes. Ricky has had his teeth taken out. He has had his teeth taken out. Okay? Let's see letter E. I haven't been to the car wash for a long time. Here you have to change the sentence a little bit more.
Can I say that answer?
Yes, yes, please, Mayra.
I haven't had my car to the car wash.
The first part is correct. Let's see. I haven't had my car.
Yes.
And now you need the past participle of washing. I haven't had my car.
Wash it.
To wash it.
Washed, without the to. Washed. I haven't had my car washed for a long time.
Okay.
Yes? This sentence in particular was a little more difficult than the others. Okay, let's see letter F. The men are coming to put in the new central heating on Saturday. Who would like to say this sentence? Any volunteer?
Can I answer?
Sorry?
Can I answer?
Yes, yes, please. Macarena, right?
Yes, I put, we are having the new central heating putting on Saturday.
We are having the new central heating
putting on Saturday.
Yes, 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 sorry, I hadn't heard, I wasn't sure about the put.
Yes,
because you said in. Exactly. But the past participle of put is put, yes?
It's put.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So we are having the new central heating put in on Saturday.
Teacher, excuse
yes.
me.
Yes.
Could you repeat the answer? We are having
the new central heating put in on Saturday. Because in this case, put in is a phrasal verb. It means installed. Okay? So you cannot omit the preposition in, you have to keep it. Okay? Clear?
Yes.
Great. G, someone broke Harry's nose in a fight.
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Harry had his nose broken in a fight.
Excellent. Excellent. Those of you that I can see are nodding right now. Is there anyone who has a question on this sentence? Very good. And letter H, isn't it time someone fixed your television? Isn't it time? We start in the same way. Isn't it time? How would we complete it?
Can I, teacher?
Okay, yes, Mika?
Isn't it time you had your television fixed?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Again, we are using this structure because why are we going to say, isn't it time someone fixed your television? Someone is not adding any information. It doesn't contribute anything to the sentence, okay? And you know that English, as opposed to Spanish, because in Spanish we are very wordy. We tend to speak a lot to say something simple. But in English, the idea is only to mention the important and the relevant information. So if we can avoid mentioning someone, we do, okay? So it's a lot better to say, isn't it time you had your television fixed? Okay?
Can you repeat the answer, please?
Yes. Isn't it time you had your television fixed?
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, and now number 7, exercise 7 says, rewrite each sentence so that it contains a passive form and does not contain the word in italics. Yeah?
Yes.
So this is a little more challenging because here, there's not only one structure that you can use. Okay, so let's see. Apparently, Freddie has a wife in Scotland. You don't have to include the word apparently, but you have to say something in the sentence to make that meaning clear. Ariel?
It's believed that Freddie has a wife in Scotland.
Perfect, perfect.
Oh,
Yes, there are many ways in which you can say it here, yes? But you have the 2 requirements. You have to use the passive voice. This is why Ariel began with it is believed, okay? And you don't use the word apparently. Any other option there that anyone wrote?
Or Freddie is said to have a wife in Scotland.
Sorry, Freddie is?
Is said to have a wife in Scotland.
Yes, yes. Also, very good. Great. Letter B. Nobody knows anything about Brenda's family.
Can I answer? I don't think I do right.
Okay, Floppy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, nothing is known about Brenda's family.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Yes, it's great.
Great.
This is what happens. When you become familiarized with a structure, it comes so simply to your mind that you think it's wrong, but it's not wrong. It's just that you already know it and that you understood the construction. Okay? Very
Okay.
good. Any doubts in that one? No? Okay, let's see letter C. People think that someone started the fire deliberately. Who would like to say this one? The fire.
Can I, teacher?
Yes, Mika?
The fire is thought to have been started deliberately.
Excellent, excellent. Would it be okay? And here I make reference to something we discussed at the very beginning of this meeting. Would it be okay to say the fire is thought to be started deliberately? Would that be correct?
Yes.
Mika said the fire is thought or is believed to have been started deliberately. That sentence is perfect. My question is, would it be okay to say the fire is thought or is believed to be started deliberately?
No, because it didn't.
No, because I think that the time changes.
Exactly, exactly. This is similar to the example we mentioned about Larry denied being arrested and Larry denied having been arrested. Yes, the action of starting the fire happened before the speculations. So you need to show that it happened before that. This is why the correct version is what Mika said. The fire is thought or is believed to have been started deliberately. Okay?
Okay.
That construction, to have been, is what is called the perfect infinitive. It is a form of the infinitive because you're using to, but you use to, and you use have, and then you use the past participle of the verb that you want to use. Okay?
Okay.
Very good. Letter D. Sorry, did anyone ask? There's noise and I don't know if it was a question. No? Okay. Letter D. You should ask a doctor to see that cat.
Y Star Video es para tipo también filmarme.
Someone is explaining to somebody else how to use the application. Okay. So let's see, let's focus, yes? You should ask a doctor to see that cat. You should, how would you say it? You should
have that cat seen to by a doctor.
Excellent, excellent. You should have that cat seen to by a doctor. You will stop me if you have any questions, okay?
Sí.
Letter E. People say that Chris was in the army. Sorry, I don't want to silence everyone because I want you to participate, but I don't know.
Tipo, profesores antes. Chicos, silencio, profesores ahora. Chicos, hablen, por favor.
What is that? Do you have any idea where that interference is coming from?
No.
Sí, decime que está muteado.
No. No, I'm silencing one at a time to see what happens, and I don't know. Well, let's try to continue, yes? Okay. People say that Chris was in the army. Chris?
Can I, teacher?
Yes, Mika?
Chris is said to have been in the army.
Fantastic. Chris is said to have been in the army. Yes, Ariel?
I put it is said that Chris was in the army.
It is said that Chris was in the army. Yes, that's correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Miss, do you hear me?
Who are you?
Sorry, I thought that I was mute.
Yeah, yes. I tried to mute you because we heard a lot of conversation there.
Sorry, Miss, it's my first time in this application.
Okay, okay, yes. If you're not going to say something, the idea is that all the students silence themselves and they turn on the microphone when they are going to participate so that we don't hear all the background noise, okay?
Okay, so I should press the mute button?
Yes, and when you want to participate, you press the microphone again. Okay, my trousers need to be pressed before I leave. Is there any volunteer? Okay, Ariel?
I put, it's hoped my trousers are pressed before I leave.
I didn't understand the beginning.
It's hoped.
It's kind of weird. It is hoped. By whom?
I'm not sure, but I put that.
I put another answer.
Mika, what did you write?
I must have my trousers pressed before I leave.
Okay, that's perfect. I must have, or yes, I must have, or I should have my pants, my trousers pressed before I leave. Any other in this one? No? Okay, no one has signed this letter.
Can I say, teacher?
Yes, Mayra, please.
This letter has not been signed.
Has not been signed.
Signed.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Perfect. And finally, Mary's hair still needs cutting. You can say that Mary still needs, or that Mary
hasn't had her hair cut yet.
Yes, say it again because there was some interference.
Yes, Mary hasn't had her hair cut yet.
Perfect. Mary hasn't had her hair cut yet. Yes. Any other in this one? No? Okay. there's one more question in the one about passive. The most important doubt in these two exercises. Exercise 6 because of this structure, yes, to have or get something done, and 7 because it is a combination of different forms that were mentioned in different parts of the unit. Okay. In the paraphrase exercises that we are going to be practicing, or that we are already practicing every class, you are pay attention because you are definitely going to encounter these constructions. It is believe that, it is said that, or this have something done, okay? Then in the unit about conditionals, there were no doubts, yeah? In the unit about wishes and related forms, there was only one doubt, and it is important to mention it. You don't need to look at the notes, yes? You don't need to look at the notes. The structure that appears that is not explaining the theory, but it is important for you to know, is I'd sooner, yes? There was a sentence that said, wait a second, here.
It is on page 49.
Yes, it was in exercise 6, sentence G, I don't want you to buy me a present. You have to use the word sooner. And there were several people who didn't know what this means. The structure, I'd, yes, I'd sooner means the same as I'd rather.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I'm shouting a little, but I hear a lot of noise. So I'm trying to make sure that you can hear my voice, okay? Sorry if I'm shouting. So the
Teacher,
structure.
can you repeat it?
Yes,
Can you
yes,
repeat?
yes, I'm going to repeat it, yes. I'd sooner means the same as I'd rather. And it has to be followed by the simple past. So in this exercise, exercise 6, letter G, the correct sentence is I'd sooner you didn't buy me a present. I'd sooner, the same as I'd rather, okay? They are synonyms. And again, my suggestion is highlighted, this I'd sooner, okay? Because it is not very uncommon. It appears quite a lot in English. Finally, we have, okay, wait a second, I will stop sharing. This, okay. So, yes, about the closed test, yes, these texts in which you have to complete with one word. This is important, one word in each gap. The first thing that you should do is read all the text. First, read it all at once, because maybe you start reading, you think you know one of the answers, but then there is something that comes afterwards that contradicts your initial idea. But if you already completed it, it's like you are already having the predisposition in a certain direction. And that's not a good idea. Strategically speaking, first you should read all the text. Then you read a second time, and this time, yes, you complete all the gaps that you can naturally. And for the ones that you find harder, you have to look at the context. Try to identify if what you need is a preposition, a verb, if the sentence is positive, if the sentence is negative, okay? Anyway, we will have one for next class, and next class we will correct it together, analyzing it together, okay?
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Well, now
Okay.
our time is almost up. So, well, I hope this has been useful. If you have any questions, you can write to me, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, teacher.
Have a wonderful week. Yes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, see you next class.
Teacher,
Yes?
I am from